so it's going now.
Okay.
Welcome to another hour with Rod. I'm your host, Rod, and the drone you heard on the intro was a piece by John Cage called Organ 2 ASLSP. ASLSP, as slow as possible. So that was sort of the instruction also. So people are sort of open to interpretation. I know how slow is possible. So, but basically that piece was taken off a live feed that's actually being played currently in Halberstadt, Germany. This thing, I had a whole Radio Lab kind of idea for this that had come in with all this blah blah blah, and we'd interview people from Germany. But I'm just gonna try and tell the story the best I can. But anyway, so they figured that the first modern keyboard was created in 1361, and it was created in Halberstadt, Germany. And so basically they subtracted, in the year 2000, they subtracted from the very first year the modern organ was created, and got 639 years. So they basically kind of mapped the piece out over 639 years, and they have an organ set up in Halberstadt, Germany, where it's sort of... They have it all mapped out, each note, and they have strings above it, and everything's kind of weighted. And every year or so, finally, a different note will be played or so. So it's scheduled to go on. So 639 years, that would make it 2639. So the piece will be playing until the year 2639. And it's being played, if you'd like to see it, in Halberstadt, Germany. If you're around in Europe, I suggest you go check that out. Now I'm going to play another piece by John Cage. He's such an interesting performer. This one's just gonna play a little piece from it real quick. That was a piece by John Cage called 433. I just put a little bit. I didn't want to play the whole 4 minutes and 33 seconds of silence, but yeah, some say that was a... I mean, really, if you think about it, every musical idea is bound to happen, including the lack thereof. Anyway, so let's get on to the podcast. This one was recorded on my birthday with Reece, and it's an interesting one. We get in. It's hard to kind of summarize, but it was a good podcast. We talked about a lot of stuff, a lot of the struggle of, kind of him being in his own thing and my being in mine, or me being in mine. But I feel like just I got some coffee in me. I feel a little better, but I've just been so exhausted, and it seems for years now, that I started to think, like, is this ever going to end, right? Like, where is the end game? Like, what's the point where, you slow down and relax, maybe lay on a beach or something? Because I'm not an idiot. And of course, we all are weak and feeble in some areas or whatever. But anyway, I'm not expecting ever to get... I don't expect a dime from this podcast, or I don't expect anything out of any of my work, really, except to be able to sustain myself doing it in the field, which, I guess I am. I think maybe when I look back and maybe, I'll get jolted out of this position and I have to go become a dental assistant somewhere, and when I look back at this, I'll be like, hey, I was there. You know, it's sort of like I just want to be comfortable, like, and it's definitely not there yet. But, you know, it feels like I'm not making it, but if I wasn't, I wouldn't be continuing. Does that make sense? So I am sort of doing okay, but it feels not okay, because it's the always thinking about paying the bills, trying to get the car running, that I don't have any extra money. Like, it's just that, like, I'm just right at that level where just nothing is extra, you know, except for cigarettes and coffee. I pay my child support. I have money for the kid, and, you know, that's about it. I do this podcast, sort of why I'm a writer. It's free. Why I'm a podcaster, it's free. I don't, you know, and this is either a testament to a guy who's losing his mind, and you know, all the groundwork's there and it's laid out, and it'll just get more and more weird from here, or these are testaments and examples of all the steps and everything that it took to get in this into a better position, which I hope one day be. But man, right now it's fucking nuts. So I just feel always scattered. So part of me getting unscattered is doing this podcast. I'm gonna quit writing for a while. I've written three short films, one play, and a screenplay in the past year. And, you know, if you listen to the last episode with my brother, it was all about, like, I don't want to get stuck looking at a pond in my past. You know, that was a weird way for me to say, to kind of go, because of, you know, the light traveling to you, you know, reflecting off your face and traveling to the pond. That's something that's already happened, even if it's a millisecond in the past. But it's also a way of me of saying that I've been writing and sitting here and just like recalling memories for inspiration or whatever for way too long. And hopefully this is the new year and the new podcast, and we've got a lot of stuff coming up for this, by the way. I don't want to, like, just kind of write this off. It's a lot of good stuff coming. But, so you're seeing the steps, the baby steps, or hearing. You're not seeing anything really yet, except for this stupid rabbit. But, yeah, no, that's all in the future. And even this, it's like, I just want to turn on a mic and talk. Everyone's like, oh, you got to do this, and you got to do that, and we can do this, and we can do that, and I can get him, and then you go, oh, fuck. So, here we go. Oh, fuck. This is my tired ass having a really good conversation with Reece about sort of your intentions versus what you actually put out there. So, from the rambling mind of me, unfiltered, uncut, you can get to just listen to whatever this whole 10-minute rant was, which I've already said. I tried to say earlier, oh, I don't want to just be ranty, but that's all. I mean, there's a million reasons. I keep thinking of, like, oh yeah, that's why I'm doing the podcast. Like, there's a million reasons, and one of them is I don't want to go to a fucking therapist. I'd rather just sit here and talk and feel just fine. And although it does feel kind of weird not getting the feedback, but, I'll scream into the abyss. And whoever wants to listen can listen. And here is my conversation and the podcast number 2 with Reece. Welcome everybody to another hour with Rod, and I'm joined once again with Reece.
How y'all doing out there?
And today is Monday,
January 25th. It happens to be my birthday.
Happy birthday, man.
Thanks,
And thank you, brother. And also, shout out to my moms who's up in Iowa, Miss Betty Thompson. She turned 63 today. Shout out to you, Mom, and shout out to Rod. Hey, happy birthday, you guys.
So I share a birthday with your mother.
Yeah. So that's a special thing. So
Nice. Easy to remember, huh?
Right. And today, this talk show is basically surrounded, and basically all I'm trying to say is it's about you.
Yeah. Hey, why don't we let you? Yeah, we'll give you the rings today.
Yeah.
And you can.
Okay.
You got us.
Switch it up.
Got us through the murky waters.
Right. I'll be the host. What's the word we looking for out here, people? I'll be the interviewer.
The interviewer.
Okay.
Sure.
So what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna ask you some questions, Rob. And first question I want to ask you. So how did your day start today?
With me refusing to get up, and hitting snooze a few times.
Right.
And then I have it go off hours in advance because I know I'm just gonna keep hitting that shit over and over and over.
Right.
And it's to the point now where I don't know. Maybe you go so long without a vacation or without recharging your batteries, but you get to a point where you feel like a zombie. You know, just going through the motions. It's like no sizzle. You know.
Tell me about it.
I just roll. I mean, if you can imagine, I just roll out of bed eventually, hit the floor. You know, crawl in and get some coffee. Yeah, you know what I mean. I fight to get up. I get some coffee and have a cigarette.
Right. And
then I usually turn on. Who's on? If I'm up at 8, it's Andy Griffith. I gotta watch.
Okay. Old school.
Yeah, you gotta watch. To me, I mean, you gotta watch something that's like
just genuine,
very
natural.
milquetoast. Yeah, like ease you into
down
it.
to earth.
Yeah, because it was so simple, and it was a really good show.
Great.
You know, now that I watch it as an adult, I'm like, you know what?
Well, you know,
not half bad, really.
You know the great thing about those old shows, they taught you a lot of values. Now,
yeah, definitely.
And then the communication what people had, you know, you had the parents sitting the child down, communicating with them, explaining. So that's another thing of our show today, people out here, everywhere. We just want to say hello to you guys too also. And for the people, this is for the people. Coming to you from Rod. Mm-hmm. And I'm just the co-host, Reece. And actually, while we're on the topic of communication.
All right, yeah.
Today, we want to discuss also, first and foremost, we want to talk about Rod's day and what he did today, and you know, as far as his birthday. But the underlying story is communication, and we want to touch bases with basically the intentions when people communicate with you. Are they there to give you orders? Are they there to help you? Are they to inspire you? Are they to talk down on you? There's different forms of communication that people use. Sometimes people use communication for manipulation.
Right, yeah.
You find people that's very good with their words, you know. Yeah. Then you find people that can hurt with their words because they don't care what they say. Right. Now, sometimes I can fall in that category because I get frustrated at everybody. And sometimes my communications will go to crap. Yeah. What about you, Rob?
I don't know. In a work setting, I just try to communicate on the sort of...
Good point.
On the the acceptable level, just to get through whatever situation I'm in, and to be able to get back to work.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean it's pretty cut. I mean it's pretty cut and dry. I mean, like when you're doing a show and you're running a camera, you know there's no there's no fuzziness with the communication. If you know the host. If their earpiece has gone out or their IFB isn't working and you got to give them a time cue, you just give them a time cue. I mean, you know what I mean? I love it because socially, man, I am not very good, which is why I like to sit in here and talk with select few people, because I feel that communication nowadays is it's done on such a like a bite-sized level that. It's almost nice for me to walk through a hall, somebody with a little anxiety that I have, and to have people looking down their phone and not paying attention, because then I can just keep walking and go about my day and I don't have to mess with it.
Right.
But the other part of me, it just wants to kick the fucking phone out of there, and it's like, come on, like,
Man.
wake the fuck up, you know? But like I said, it's, you know, it's a lot of people that I don't care to, you know, congregate with anyway.
You know what? I believe, honestly, now my opinion of communication, I've seen it change vastly from, let's go back to the year 1999 when the Y2K thing started.
That was the year I graduated.
Yeah, they pushed the Y2.
Yeah.
Yeah, they pushed the Y2K thing just over the roof, and then look, when 2000 hit, it seemed like the communications all changed. I mean, let's just go from a black point of view. I'm a black man, and my buddy Ross, he's a white guy, so we are
part black.
Part black, yeah. He's got a brother.
The good part.
Don't get it twisted, y'all.
The good part.
Right. He got the good black part in him, right? But no, this is going back to the times of, man, when I can remember '99, man, everybody was this Y2K thing, thinking that all communications was gonna like blank out. It was gonna be something crazy. Then it turned out to be like just a big smash. Like we just got overtook. Like let's just go to music. I mean, music changed vastly from '99 to 2000 to where you had people singing like Donnell Jones. If you love someone, you just gonna treat them bad. Then it went from that to everybody get your roll on. I remember the Hot Boys took over 2000. Everything was ass and titties.
Yeah, it went back to an elementary level.
Yeah. It changed the whole. Yeah, and so look, then you see the monotone of people. Everything became pretty much programmed. Like you seen more people with iPhones. Then you look. The first thing was the iPad with the radio.
Yeah.
The little handheld thing with the radio. You could just play out like 400 songs.
Oh, you mean the iPod?
iPod. Yeah, you had the iPod.
I had the Zune.
See, look, it tell you how far I am on technology, people. Right. So, but look, anyway.
Yeah.
Just getting to that. I mean, just going through the whole. So now we're okay. 16 years later, time is flew. And now we're at a stage where you find a lot of people, their phone is their life.
Yeah. Lost without it.
My girlfriend, her phone is her complete. I remember she dropped it on the toilet. And it's my girl. I remember
in the toilet?
She dropped it in the toilet accident. But see, I told her, I said, don't take it with you. You keep taking it everywhere you go. Why you take the phone everywhere you go? You gotta take the phone with you to the bathroom. And she dropped it. So her phone was off.
I've done that. Yeah. I actually dropped this one right here in the toilet and pulled it out quick enough and took everything apart.
Well, yeah, that's what she tried to do. But then I told her to drive. She didn't listen. She tried to hold it, sit it out. And then look, she tried to put it back together. It played, but then it was just fucked up.
And she put in a bag of rice?
We tried everything.
You put in a bag of rice, you know why?
Why?
Because at night Asians come in, sneak in and gun and fix it.
Okay, now look, that's Rod saying that with Asian people. Now look, Rod's gonna have to clean that one up. I'm out of that one. I love my Chinese people. Look, now we just joking. It's all in the thing of fun and games.
I hate everybody equally.
Yeah. But now getting back to that,
whatever.
On the community, man, when her phone went down, man. For 2 weeks before she got another one, she was lost every day. Right. She didn't know what to do. I'm looking at her, I'm like, man, why don't you watch a movie? You know, let's go out, just take a bike ride. She was just really, until she picked up her other phone where she didn't have no internet on it, and she just played her games every day. I'm like, damn, put the phone down, walk away from the phone, come back to reality. Well, but look, at the same time, not to cut you off, but at the same time, what I seen here was a trend. Because this is pretty much everybody that I see with phones that's got the big phone with all the gadgets and everything.
You're right, yeah.
I mean, even myself, I become a slave to it. You know, like, because I like the game. See, this is what I use the phone. I use the internet for, like, to get what I need off of it. As far as, like, I like it for movies. I like it for games.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as, like, information, that's what I use it for.
Right.
But you won't find me, like, since I've been back at work, man, I don't even pick up my phone no more. When I had that free time, it takes away from your time. So this is the part of the thing as far as communication. It limits us because we get into this whole world of phones and we forget about everything else around us.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I wonder if how much of it is dependent on the fact that we have made things so easy for us in the day. Like the time that we would normally be, the woman would be washing the clothes in the wash, hanging the clothes up, getting, cooking, like baking bread, like all day, baking that shit, cooking, keeping the place clean. The guy was out chopping wood, setting traps, shooting, tilling the soil. I think that's a backslide of like eliminating all that stuff. Because what are we supposed to do? That's what we were supposed to do. When you look at our bodies, they said that they've already noticed spine, abnormalities from looking down.
Right.
So much. And we weren't even made to sit so much as we were. But here's a trip thing though that kind of throws that argument off. It's like I've also heard that like in a hunter-gatherer type of society that I'm describing, where everybody's doing their own thing or whatever, and busy, everybody tending to the house and doing chores.
Right.
Is if it got fluid enough, you only had to work 30, 40 hours a week, but the rest of it would be like your craft, like what you like to do, woodworking or, because you would build furniture or, maybe you were a carpenter, like. I don't know. It's just sorry, you get me lost. I'm wondering what you're searching for.
No, I'm finna tell you. I'm before I get into it, but I want you to keep going. You're gonna see where I'm at. Go ahead, keep on.
Yeah.
Keep on going with it.
Yeah, I kind of talked myself into a weird kind of a spot. No,
That's
I didn't mean that. No, I didn't mean. I just. I just wonder, like, if, like, at what I don't know. I just feel that this is an unnecessary thing, and I also feel that the backslide then from having poor communication and being into our phones and into our own self a lot more than normal. I think it'll swing back. I think I've seen people sort of kind of at the same time we went completely like. One way with making our lives easier and get the swing back this way where like people want to have their own little gardens and stuff,
Right.
Like,
okay. Here we go. Here's a fact, people. Let's go. Let's just take it a little further from what Rod said. Phone related deaths. Okay. Here's the fact. I'm looking it up right here on Google. Okay. We have right now in the year of August as of August 17, 2015, we have 20% of all car crashes by August 17, 2015, 27% of the deaths were from phone-related accidents. So what I'm trying to say is the phone has taken over to the point where it's causing death, but we can't put it down and focus on just the daily. The people have lost their lives by picking up a phone and putting more time into it than paying attention to driving.
Yeah.
This is what we're dealing with.
We've all gotten caught up in doing that at one point or another. If we're driving,
Well, I'm on a bike and I'm trying to text on the bike. Y'all, it's crazy, y'all. So, it can happen to me. So, look, all I'm trying to say is we need to take more consideration of what we're doing out here with ourselves because, like I said, this show is all about the people. And I just want to touch bases on that. 27%. In 2015, of the car crashes were death-related were from phones.
Yeah, well, it makes sense for sure.
So that's what
I wonder how much if there's been a spike in car wrecks.
That's
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
if it's made a spike in it, I know it would be a big chunk, and I'm assuming it would.
27% is a high number, man.
Right.
You look at 100%, that's over a quarter of deaths in car accidents. And I remember I was in a car accident because a girl was on the phone and she was just running her mouth and ran dead into us. I was at work.
Oh, jeez.
You know what I'm saying? I lost my job behind it.
Well, so what can you describe that story?
Basically, it was just I had got injured on the job, and I was at home for a couple months receiving insurance. So they called me back.
No, but I mean, like, we just standing on the corner.
No, we was delivering some we was delivering some items from some materials from my job to another job.
Yeah.
So basically, I was on desk duty. I wasn't even supposed to go.
Right.
I was really on shop duty. So they sent me out to go with this guy to drop me. We was like probably in like Murray, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we was at a red light. The girl just came right up and she was on the phone. I seen it from my rear view. I was a passenger and my other guy was driving. She ran straight, running her mouth. Boom, hit us. And I just had an accident. You know what I'm saying? So what they did was basically, they took me, the police took care of her, got her away from there, pulled me off, took us to a hospital and drug tested me. Now, before I say 2 weeks prior, before I started back working, I was smoking marijuana because the drugs that they was giving me was Percocets and Lortabs, and I couldn't really function. So I switched to marijuana.
Yeah, isn't that kind of a shame you had to do that?
And that's what
it's not one of your options.
I lost a $12 an hour job. Probably right now, probably would still been with that company making good money. But hey, my point is the connection with the phones and communication and how we treat one another now. When you go into a place, I mean, even when you meet a girl at a club or something, I'm not saying, I'm just saying I've seen it from experience of me being a security. You know, women come in a club with a phone and guys trying to holler them, they face down in the phone. I mean, and then look at all the relationships that has been dismembered from Facebook. People meeting other people and doing sly stuff that other people don't know. Your boyfriend and girlfriend don't know about. And so we tend to use the phone for our safeguard, for us, for he won't know about it or she won't know about it if I text him. So the thing is, we losing touch. My own personal opinion, I feel.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right. You're definitely right. I agree with that. I've had a relationship problems with Facebook too. It's only been a fucking nightmare with that shit.
Right.
I don't give two fucks about it. I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, I like that there's a place that I can go online where pretty much everyone I've ever known in my whole life, even from just a dude I met, and we talked at a club or something, and he said, "Hey, check out my band page or whatever." Like,
right.
They're all there, but at the same time, that's also what gives me the anxiety. Is like, oh my God, every motherfucker. Every time I say anything or type anything on there, like today I shared today just happened to be the day that I launched the podcast, because we try to do it a little ahead, it gives me time to edit it and everything like that. But just doing that's like, oh my gosh. Now everybody I've ever known there's the guys that don't have it, but there's a small chunk, but it feels like
very small.
Well, there's a piece of every, there's people that I knew in elementary school, middle school, high school, college, the place I worked when I worked at, this place for 2 months,
right.
Whatever. And it's like, you go, how the fuck do I know you?
Right, what do I know this guy?
But I like it. I like it as being an artist and somebody who likes to create stuff. I mean, it's great. It's a way to, kind of shamelessly self-promote.
Well, I mean, not only that,
it's a way to connect. It's a way to connect through all the disconnection.
Exactly. And that's the whole key of our topic today. And then, look, let's go further. Let's get on the real juicy part of it all, guys.
Hold on 1 second. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Let's get on the juice of the meat of it all. What about communication in relationships? The underlying surface is the number one thing I feel like in a relationship is communication is number one. And a lot of us has lost touch with communication with one another in a relationship, because I've come to find out that probably, I'm going to say a high number because it's really true. I say about 80% of most of my arguments with most of my past girlfriends, even with the woman I've been with today, and most happy to say we've been together like 5 years. It's been rough, but we've been together, we've been in it. And the thing is, the hardest thing I still come to find is communicating, because a lot of times 70% of our arguments come from misunderstanding.
Right, yeah.
Because you said something and I misunderstood what you said, and then I took it somewhere else, or you misunderstood. So we never take time to really clearly listen. I always tell my girl, I said, look, if you don't understand what I'm saying, just ask me. I'll repeat it over because I want you to understand. That's how important communication is with me because, like, it's going to come a point in time where we may be out somewhere and I really need you to be there with me and we need to be on the same page. So a lot of times, you know, we lack that. And, you know, home is where you practice it at. A lot of us feel like, you know, when you get home from work and, okay, I'm tired, I don't want to be bothered. No, this is your people, so you have to interact with them and find out what's going on with them today. Because I have walked in home, in my house, and walked into some hell because I didn't even know what was going on. Because my old lady was going through something, and she didn't tell me about it, right?
Right.
And then it comes back on me because she never got to talk it out.
Yeah.
I've had times where I was so angry with her where I left, and I came over and talked to you or talked to my other friend, and just venting helped me get it out. And then I go home and I vent it out to her, and then it gets better. So the communication line between relationships, that's a topic, y'all. We need to really take a look at because as man and woman moves on in this time that we in, we also are declining as a people. Because right now, let's just be honest. The communities like the gay community, the Hispanic community, the black and white community, you only have a few. You have a few members out of each community that's doing what me and you doing right now. That's communicating. You don't have the majority of people getting together, just getting down, talking about stuff like this. And so that's why I feel like your show.
You do it with people that go out and do extra stuff and common interest stuff, go to the gym, get on sports teams, or run marathons, but the majority of the people that don't really do much, you know, no.
We don't interact amongst.
They stay together. Yeah,
yeah, we interact amongst each other, not with the community. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think that this talk show right here is a great thing that we're doing, because just for ourselves, I mean, it's true, it's genuine.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, I mean, what we're trying to do is touch topics where people should understand where we're coming from, because I'm quite sure everybody that's listening or that has listened can understand that the importance of communication is what makes your family stronger. That's what makes your child a better child, because what you teach him and what you instill in him is what you communicating through your experiences. So you share that with your child, you know. In a relationship, I found out that when you sit down and you talk and listen to one another, the relationship is great. When you have a lot of emptiness and a lot of, you know, a few words, you have a lot of that. That's just what it is, emptiness and few words.
Right.
So I think if we all took time, because like it seems like now we come from a world where you talk too much. What are you talking about? I feel you know, why is he talking? But look, I feel like everybody's got something to say. So to me, what makes it important is what you're saying. And then if it's meaningful, it might not be meaningful to the next person. But if it's something that's in your experience that you've been through, it's even important for me to sit back and hear you out, because that's where I know where you're coming from.
Right.
That's how that's what communication is about. Learning one another. We have to sit down and listen to one another. We can't overtalk one another. We can't undermine one another. So, people, this would be a great time to have callers calling in. But that's something that we're working on here in the near future.
Yeah. It would be. I mean, it would be not. Yeah, it would be definitely something that would require us definitely putting it out there and getting the scheduled time that where we know we're like we're doing it on this day at this time. We got to put it out there so you know you can call in from this day and this time for an hour. We'll be doing this and that.
Right.
And then we'll get them hooked up to the. I have to get a mixer in here. But there's a few more steps for that, but I don't think it's anything we can accomplish.
In due time.
Yeah, definitely. But for now, I need to fill up my drink, and we're all going to take a quick break, and we will see you back here.
In a few seconds, Andy.
Yep. Welcome back to another hour with Rod and Reece.
What's up, Andy?
What's up, guys? Welcome back. So, Where were we?
Well,
where we last left our heroes.
Let's stay where we from right here. We on the east side of Indianapolis at the studio.
Right.
And we just want to say what's up to you people out there. I'm happy to say that our first podcast, we have views, and it's good. It feels good. And,
yeah, you want me here? Let me check and see.
Yeah, check it out.
How many
we want to keep this thing going, people. We're going to do this every week, man. Dedicated.
It's officially been up, the link, since I launched. The launch has been 4 hours. And
great, man.
4 hours, we'll see how many listens we have.
Yeah.
Basically based on my, I have like 500 Facebook groups.
Right.
But only really 100 people are really active. So.
Well, 4 hours, hey, we see what we got. Let's see what we got, people.
We have 26 plays.
26 plays, and we have 1 follower. Hey, that's
one follower.
That's an accomplishment.
And
first show, y'all.
Thank you for the follower.
That's our first show.
I don't want to call them out, but kind of do.
Hey, check it out.
I don't want to be like, hey, make them feel special, like our very first follower.
Because we appreciate you guys listening to us, and we hope that it grows. Because it's all about the people.
Oh wait, I told you before I didn't know who she was. I do know who she was.
Okay, well good. At least you know.
Shout out to Sarah.
Hey Sarah, what's up?
That's my brother's.
That's cool.
My brother's fiance.
Okay, well look, we're gonna get into the meat of it now. Back to the meat, y'all. We cannot forget Rod in this special day.
Right, but you just made me remember one thing. Let that be the last thought, or the pause where you're paused at.
Okay.
Because I remember listening to the first episode, and you were talking about your friend from Iowa.
Right, my buddy.
Okay, can you... Because you got to the point where you set it up. You were hanging out. Man. You're going up in medieval castles and shit.
Oh, man. Okay,
what happened? Is he, like, where's he at now? I mean, is he still around there? You guys are in good terms?
Oh, we was,
what happened? Because you were like, oh, man.
The best thing about...
I never finished that.
The best thing about friendships that I have with people, we never really leave each other. I never really left anybody on bad terms or did anything bad, so I can meet guys that I was friends with, and we always have that bond now. What changes things is life, but what happened with him was when we was together up in Iowa, because we worked at the same job, that's how we became friends. And he was a younger guy. And I guess we took on each other at the orientation, and just by him, sitting down, we had a great... That's what started our communication with one another. Mm-hmm. And I say at this time I was probably about 38, 39. And so my friend was about 22, 21. He was just coming into fatherhood. And he was young, and he got in a little trouble when he was younger. But now since he realized the responsibility of being a father, he took more serious. And he really needed someone just to he can talk to about it. So I became his friend in that. And like, he's got, he had father, brother, he had everybody. But, sometimes you get more outside of that.
Right.
You can get more meat sometimes outside.
Right.
Let me say this. Blood is thicker than water. Yes, it is. Yeah. But sometimes without water, you can't survive. So I was that water to him.
Right.
And he was my water. You know what I'm saying? Without no bloodline. And he was my white friend from up in Iowa, and he was my friend. And I mean, it got to the point where when they had his son, they made me the godfather, him and his girlfriend. And it was a special thing. I mean, we hung out every day. He came over the house. I mean, even after the job, the temporary job, we had different jobs, but we still spent quality time, and it was good time. We used to go up in Clinton, Iowa. They used to take me to these little parks and different areas, and it's nice, man. I mean, my mother lives up in Iowa, and the great thing about it, I guess when I was young and I went to go visit, I wasn't really into it when I was young because my mother always fished, so I didn't really see the beauty of what I missed until I got older. And about Iowa was a beautiful place. And so he took me to some places, and there was this one part, I couldn't remember, but I just remember it had a castle. So we used to go up to the top of the castle, and you could look out over the Mississippi River. And we just sit out there and talk about life. And he was talking about what he think he should do with his girlfriend. And I would always give him positive stuff that he can grasp, and it was never negative. I always would tell him, hey man, if you and your girl can't see eye to eye, you still got to stick together because that's your baby mama. You know what I'm saying? You try to work it out. You know, that's who you try for. That's the one you go back for because she's holding your seed. So it's important that it's important that you do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? So I said, because I made mistakes, I failed. So all I was basically giving him experience through life, the do's and don'ts. And I think he grasped to that. But what ended up happening was I was married. And he came to my wedding and everything. And I had a short marriage. It was a short-lived marriage. But, I mean, the person I was with, and we just, you know, sometimes marriage changes people. So in the process of all that, I decided to move. So my friend, I told him about 2 weeks before I left, he stayed with me every day, every night, and just really tried to talk me out of not leaving. And I really, if it wasn't for the situation of my children that I was trying to get back to, I would have stayed because I felt like with him, we could have made it. I mean, together, he was my friend. We was down for each other. Now, what ended up happening was when I did make this move, the last day when I left, man, him and his girlfriend, they took me out to dinner, and that was so special. And I really appreciated them, man. So we kept in touch, and probably about 2 months prior to after me leaving, he called me one day, and he was crying. And I asked him what had happened, man, what's going on, you know, and he's like, man, my girlfriend, she was washing her hair in the tub, and she just fell over and died, aneurysm, 22 years old.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? And he was 23, and they had a little son, and he was about 6 months. So, I mean, life is gone. I mean, and it changed, you know. Now, then this what happened. I'm not for sure which side of the family came in and took the son from him. And I was keeping in touch with him all the way up until they took his son from him. And then he was just talking about doing something really crazy. And I was trying to talk him out of it. And the phone cut off. I don't know how we lost touch. The phone just all of a sudden cut off. I tried to call him back, and I couldn't reach him. And I kept calling and kept calling. Now, I've only been up there once since then. And when I was up there, it was a short-lived time. But I'm really working on getting back up to that way because I really like to see my friend again no matter what happened. And if he's listening out there, he know who he is. So this is Reece. And I want you to know, brother, I love you. And I hope to see you again real soon because I'm making the way up there, man. We used to work at Perina together.
Oh, nice.
In Clinton, Iowa. And his life changed. I mean, that's the thing. Life changes, man, in short periods of time. I mean, one day you're here, next day you're gone. But that was my friend. And what made us real special, we communicate. Our communication ran deep. We touched personal lives. We touched things like that he couldn't talk to his pops about or his brother about because they'd be like, they might twist it on. I'm not saying that they would. I'm just saying. When you come to a friend on some real things that you probably don't want to open up to with your family because they might use it against you sometimes. You know how family can get. But to them, it might be for the good. But to you, it might be for the worse. You thinking, you know,
Yeah.
so.
But to me, it always ends up that in my situation, that family always finds out no matter what.
Eventually,
you know what I mean?
and then the right.
And then it's all, and I think of the sitting around Thanksgiving or whatever with all of them going, I know your shit. I know your crazy shit.
And then look at the rodness of it. After he lost his girlfriend that he had this child with, the parents came in and took the child from him. That was all he had left. You know what I mean? That was all. Look, that would have kept. When they
to
took
me,
that,
I don't know. I mean, you can't just do that, though.
Man, they basically lied on him. Child Protective Service came in.
Well, they'd have to see proof, no matter what, you know.
Well, look, maybe at the time, he might have been smoking weed. I don't know. I mean, he was stressed out. He just lost his girl. She was 23. The way she died, she was washing her hair in the tub and just fell over in the tub.
Oh yeah, no, I agree, but I mean
the shot.
I always approach that stuff with caution. Like, oh, they just took, for no reason. Whenever somebody's just like for no reason or whatever.
But
and it's like, well, I mean, it's gotta be.
It was like when she died.
Either some complete shady shit, like you're saying, or like maybe it was gray line area enough to be like.
Maybe they. What about maybe they felt that he wasn't strong enough to raise a child, but who knows? That was his child.
Yeah, that's
he
bullshit,
deserved
man.
an opportunity, and like I said, and And I think if you know what, I honestly feel like if something bad happened to him, I feel like it wasn't all his fault because that child would maybe motivated him to get his life back together because that's what he was looking at. He don't have that to look at, and it's taken away what he got.
But it could be something that, I mean, I'm not going to speak for him, but obviously be something to fight for to get back.
I'm hoping that, like and it's only one person that I know that may confine him. And like I said, when I went back to Iowa, it was Christmas time, so I was only there for a few days. So this is why I want to take time and go back. And I plan to move up that way real soon, and so I hope that I can get back in touch with my friend. And he was a really good. I miss that guy. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to ask about because I remember like going over listening to the first episode, and you went into it basically about where you started. You know, you left off basically where you started today, and I was kind of thought, well, it might be nice to know what kind of the story, what.
Yeah, that was
what went down with that.
A very good friend of mine. I mean, like it was like I was his big brother to him, and he was my little brother.
Right.
We just took each other up under our wing, man. And I mean, like, it was to the point, like, we were so close, man. He come pick me up at my mom's house. And I told him, look, I ain't going nowhere. But he's like, Reece, I got a blunt. And we was in front of my mom's house, but he had tents. He had the window up. We was just sitting smoking, man. And here come my mom.
Yeah.
She come out looking like, what's the boys doing? Look, we had the window up, man, and we smoking pot. She beat all the weather. What'd you do? I said, man, pull off, man, pull off. He pulled off. And I came back. I said, yeah, mama, we left. But, you know, it was just, that was my buddy, man.
Yeah.
And I miss him, man.
All right, well, yeah, that's
But that was
that's a hell of a story.
Yeah, that made me kind of sad a little bit, but that's how I feel about him. But
Jeez,
the storyline, we're gonna get back to the topic.
Right,
y'all.
back to the topic.
Storyline is the communication. But first, I have to ask my friend here, Rod.
Right.
Did you get any special calls today?
Yeah, my son.
Great.
My stepmother and my father call me. And
No special lady out there?
Oh no, man.
Hey, look.
No.
America.
Yeah.
We have a guy. He stands about 5'9".
5'6".
About 5'6". I try to put inches on it. He took the inches away, y'all.
I have the inches where they're necessary.
But if you wear boots, if you wear high heel boots, cowboy boots, he's 5'9". Okay, and then on top. It's a joke, people. It's a joke.
Well, usually the same height sitting down. You know,
he's about the height and the size of Prince. So let me just get in everybody's mind, okay? Just think of Prince. Think of the white Prince. Okay.
Is Prince white? What is he?
Purple
both?
Rain.
Is he mixed? Is he both black
He's Puerto Rican, and I want to say Puerto Rican, black and white. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
World in our fingertips.
Right.
Let's communicate here and find out what Prince is.
Right. Now we done went from Rod's height and size to Prince now. But look, let me tell the ladies. Look, Rod is a single man. His age is what, Rod?
I turned 35 today. I'm
35,
halfway
man.
through life. I've got the other half to go.
Ladies, come on, man. This is a good guy. But look, we don't want nothing but the good women now. All you other women out there that got schemes and plans, we ain't dealing with that.
That's why I'm holding
good
now.
people. Right. We need good people.
I'm old enough now. I don't.
And it's all a matter of time, right? Look, I'm satisfied, okay? I have a woman who's been in my life for 5 years, and I'm telling you.
Okay, well, I stand. Oh, let me just entertain. I stand. Prince is. Both of his parents are African American.
Oh, okay, that's what they labeled it, but I think he's still mixed.
Right.
You know, they're going to tell us what they want.
But yeah, I'm a white prince. I can play the guitar. I can. Not really. No, I don't. No.
You really can. So, ladies, just a single man. Check it out. And allow a ride.
Right,
yeah, Rod, man, just touch bases on the topic, man.
Right. Well, we were talking. I wouldn't say it's kind of off mic about your intentions as a person, how you want to be perceived by others versus like what you actually put out there. You know what I mean? Like, for example, this is something I've been thinking about. You know, like when I'm walking around or I'm out at a bar or whatever, I have a pretty good feeling about myself. I feel like it's like I'm writing screenplays and trying to get stuff submitted, making short films, and doing the podcast now, and it's like that. The podcast is something tangible, but like the screenplays and all that, that's just on. I'm just writing them on spec, meaning like I don't get contracted to write screenplays. I write my own, and then I go, here, hope we like it. Right. And I put them out just a couple places, not enough as I should, because you really got to put them out to 50 to hundreds of places before you get your shit sold. But in my head, I'm a screenwriter, right? So, like and it's my intention to be that, in my head when I walk around, it's like, I feel proud that I've getting my thoughts out, and I'm spending all my free time writing and all this. But when I walk around, like at work and in the neighborhood and stuff, it's like they don't know anything. To them, I'm like, what am I really? The guy whose car's busted down, just walking through the hood. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, just another guy. Right. And but that always, that always sort of something I always think about is what am I actually putting out there? Do people actually know, some of these things? And when you want to talk deep topics and stuff with people at work, on a smoke break, don't really, you know what I mean? You can't really get those in. Yeah. So I don't feel like people. I don't know, and I don't even know if it's where I work or why, but if they even know, you know what I mean? Like when I told you, I was in the military. You're like, oh, what? You were in the military.
I mean,
like, how many?
This can be the same.
You know what I mean? Like so, and it reminded me too of when you were talking last week, last episode, the first episode, about it was always your intentions to get your sons together and all that. Yeah. Like, and to me, that's sort of where I can try and relate it to on your side, where it's like, even with the people in my life that I'm not close to right now, it's like, because I don't have the money to travel to see them or to go out and spend time with them at the bar, at the club. It's like, no, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna sell that screenplay, or I'm gonna make that movie, or I'm gonna get. And when I get there, then I can go, take a breath, get in, a nice place, and feel comfortable and be like, look, see, now I'm here. Right. But now when I'm in the scrambling thing where I'm trying to get to wherever there is, and it's an invisible line.
You feel like you're going nowhere.
Going nowhere too, and that, and that. You see progress over time, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like when you look back and this year I did a lot, but I'm still here, still doing that. And it's like,
there's still some things like missing.
It's like I want people, I want to be able to see my mom on Sundays, on cookouts and stuff like that. It's like I don't have the money.
Time is calculated. And in my race,
as time clicks by, I'm racing against the time. Yeah. I feel like to get myself to a level where I could go drive and see my mom, or spend time with the family in Florida. And it's like, when do you stop going, I intend to be this, and then take the action to be it? And that's what I struggle with. And that's what started this podcast.
I'm struggling. I've been struggling with that I'm 44. Right. I've been struggling with that since, I've been trying to get back. Let me tell you something. I had the opportunity to have all my children in my life when everything was right. All my intentions, everything I did from the time I went and got incarcerated and got out, my whole goal and structural motive was to focus on getting myself together back to my children. Now, I had the opportunity to go back into their lives. And I did with my intentions. But what happened is a lot in their lives has changed. A lot in their mother's lives has changed. So that kind of created a little distance even more. So now I have found myself where I had to go harder to even keep them close because I had got so far away. To the point where at one point in my life, I had everything together. I had a house. I had a good job. I had money to send for them. When I had the money to send for them, she never let them come. When I had money to call for my son, come on, Reece, he didn't want to come. See, so here's the thing.
So it took too long.
Maybe, but wait a minute. You only got one life.
Right.
And I'm only just their dad. So to me, I felt, now as my opinion, I feel like it shouldn't matter how long. If my father's reaching out for me, I mean, come on. It's only no matter what. The thing is, I may have disrupted my children as far as that man being there for them and that man guiding them through things and that man teaching them things. I have not been that person. And I apologize to my sons for that. But I am that man who wants to make things right. My intentions have always, part of everything what I'm doing right now, even where I'm at right now, I'm still fighting. The struggle is different now because finances, before then, child support and all these legal things that I was going through as far as my finances wasn't the stronghold. Now it's the stronghold. So I'm stuck and I can't move like I want to. So what I've had to learn is to deal with what I have now. I had to figure out another way as far as financial wise where I can overcome this. Mm-hmm. But it took me some time. It took me a couple years to figure out what I need to do. Mm-hmm. So now I know what I got to do. So I'm still not giving up.
Right, yeah, okay.
And the thing is, it's more me than them. Mm-hmm. I have to go harder, I feel like, because I know what I'm capable of doing once I get around my children. I know how to touch my kids. I know how to get back into their lives. Mm-hmm. I just haven't had the opportunity to be there. And it's my fault. And right now, all I'm saying is my finances have a great stronghold on me. The support group that I have is only my girlfriend, and what she makes besides her little side job is we just barely living. Now I have a job now, but what I did, I bought a vehicle in step to get to that.
Right.
So, but it has took me a long time, a lot of losses, a lot of mishaps that's happened to me. Mm-hmm. So, versus my actions and words, yeah. That's why I'm saying this now, because I have to mean what I say. Right. And I have to go about this the way I'm saying it now. And this is my plan, and I'm sticking to it now.
Right. What I noticed with me and my own struggle to get out of, because my biggest thing was after the military, coming back and kind of seeing, right when I got out is right when they had the bank thing go on and the financial crisis and the housing thing, and I came back to a country that, to me, was just a big pile of shit and people fucking everybody over. Yeah. And, the struggles with being working for the post office and the union bullshit. It's like, I need to do something where I just do what I want to do, and tired of fucking with this shit. Because they wanted to because, I go in and say, I don't feel right, I'm depressed, blah, blah, blah. They say, hey, just take these pills and go walk around and be a mule and, just produce. Like... Yeah, and it's like, well, instead of taking the pills and doing something I don't want to do, why don't I just do something I want to do and feel better about myself?
I think this is part of what you got, what you're doing right now.
Right, I know, but that's, and that's it. But the what I noticed with trying to get, like, when you take that leap, when you are down and out and you don't have a lot going for you and you're in between living with a friend and the car is the only thing you got, maybe you're in the car, maybe the car's broke down, you have to do things that you kind of almost have to go into further debt to pull yourself out. So then when you get a little comfortable and get a nice job, the debt collectors are still calling and you're doing. So when you get up, then that shit that you had to do when you were down catches up, and you gotta deal with that 7 years of basically having to go through. I mean, that's what I've noticed, and I'm trying to climb out myself.
And to everyone out there who's going through what we're going through, I mean, the struggle is not to give up. I mean, really, it's longevity.
And the people that I've found in businesses of, like, creative endeavors, the people that survive aren't necessarily in a certain part they are, but they're not always the people that are the best at it. The people that stuck with it.
To add to that, survival is success. Because if you can maintain a certain way of living, that's success to me. I don't think you have to have millions of dollars and own property to be successful. Successful to me, success is what you plan to do and you meet your goal. That's success.
Yeah, to me, when you get to that point of that shit, you start working for that shit.
Right.
You don't want to be there.
Right.
Because, you got to keep making those millions.
You become a slave to it.
Yeah, you become So, just to be enough comfortable, we can sit down and do this thing. That's all I want from you. I'm not quite there. I feel like when I look back, I'll go, man, I was there.
Yeah.
But the struggle was so tough then. I'm glad I got through it. You know what I mean?
I think a lot of times.
I'm in it right now.
Yeah, we in it. I think a lot of times is how you look at it. I mean, if you look at it for the fact of, if you look at it in a negative way, that's how you're going to feel.
Oh, right.
If you look at it in a, like, okay, I know these people probably looking at me as a stool pigeon, but guess what I'm getting off of them? I'm going to get everything that I learned in this place while I'm in it, and I'm going to absorb it like a sponge, and then I'm going to get the hell out and find my way.
Right, exactly.
So maybe that's what you're in right now, Rod. Right. You know? But at the same time, the intentions, people.
Right. But you can see, like, there are things that you could put out there that people can see, like, oh man, that dude's fucking working it. Every time I see him, he's got his headphones on. He's fucking looking like he's writing shit down. Like, he's working. Oh, I heard, Yeah. So there are things where you can go, oh man, this guy. But that works best when you're in your early 20s.
Right.
And the young women, they want the guys that still have the idealistic guys that aren't there yet.
Right.
They see those guys with good intentions. By 30s, intentions don't mean shit no more. Where are you at, man? Where are you at?
They see the hustle in that person. They see the go-gettingness in it. And that's the attraction. They see the potential. Yeah. When you're young, because when you're young, you're aggressive. You like,
right.
When I was young, I was like, man, I'm going to get this money. I'm going to get rich.
Right.
You think that mentality.
And the girls didn't like you because you were rich. They were like, oh, you're going for the... Yeah, exactly.
That was the draw.
And they saw the potential. And my first marriage started when I was like 22. But I got with her when I was, 19. And we were together for 10 years. But yeah, she saw me, or whatever. I was an actor in the theater on stage. And she's like, oh man, this guy, he's going somewhere. Maybe that's what drew her. And then it's funny because he's not hating for saying this, but the person you get with who at first nurtures your creativity and your endeavors ends up being the one that sucks that spark out of you.
I thought you were going to say something else.
No, sucks.
This is an adult show.
Well, no, they stop sucking your dick too, but no, when the dick sucking goes away, then the soul sucking begins.
Hey man, they drain you. Look, you get drained. Look,
life. You can't do. Look, how do you think it was when I tried to edit videos and shit after working 8 to 10 hours at the post office? Had to come home and but wanted to spend time with my son.
It's draining.
Get him to bed, read him a story. Then the girl wants you to sit down, watch TV for another mindless 2-3 hours, go to bed to the news. Maybe you sniff some pussy, maybe not, probably not. And then she goes to bed at 12. You get up, you go in, you start doing this kind of stuff, writing my song, recording songs, writing screenplay stories, And then she wake up, to use the restroom or something. It's 2 in the morning and get up and get mad at you.
Man,
when she's the one that told you, if you want to do this, you got to do it in your spare time. When I was telling her that, I was like, look, I want to quit I want to drop out, and I want to go into TV and radio and music and film and do these creative things. I'm going to drop out. Okay? Do it in your own free time. Right. Okay, my free time was midnight to 3 o'clock in the morning when I had to get up at 6:30. So that's what the coffee habit started. And then, because look, I'm walking 10, 13 miles a day, and just burning it, just redlining, You're running to get that shit done. Speaking of communication, motherfuckers in here texting at the end of the podcast. I'm going to call you out on that.
No, man, I got a guy.
It's all right. No, you're lucky because I want to hear myself talk.
No, it's a friend of mine that I text, and I was telling him about our show. My buddy, and he was going to try to swing through and give a little shout out.
Right.
But I'm just texting him back to see if he's close by. He was just going to come up because I was telling him about our show. I took off with him yesterday.
Right.
So I was telling him about his show, and he's a very intelligent brother, and he can probably add a little insight.
But We are there. We're at we're about 30, man. Are you good for this episode?
Yeah. I don't know. We might have to. Let me see what he's gonna do. He may want to come up and say hello, maybe like 5-10 minutes.
Okay, well we'll go to a break right now and see what we have. Come back. We'll be right back. Thank you for listening to another hour with Rod. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it. We're at an hour. I'm gonna give you a nice long intro and a nice short outro. Be sure to if you have any comments, you can comment. I guess, or if you want to email the podcast, you can email the podcast at another hour podcast at gmail.com. Good night. I'm out. And that doesn't even matter. Like the first one we did was an hour and 13 minutes. You know what I mean?
Went in on that one though. That was the first one. That was.
You just keep going and then the ones with my friends is only on like 57 or something. It doesn't have to be exact.